Spider-Man swinging just because. Spider-Man took off his mask so the wind could caress his face as he moved. Just for tonight, he would be only Peter. If ever there was a night to swing through the streets of New York just because, it was tonight. It was Christmas Eve, and for once, the city's residents were neither committing crimes nor scanning the sky for a sight of him. He had been gifted one evening of peace. Web swinging was always something he did with a rushed purpose, to go from point A to B as quickly as possible. Whether it was chasing after a fleeing vehicle, racing to reach a building fire in time, or dashing to some other catastrophe where his assistance was needed, he never moved slowly. Spider-Man's job was one of extreme time sensitivity. But tonight, Peter would swing just because he could, and because it was the best thing in the world. Nothing, save being in the presence of MJ, made him feel like swinging did. After years of practice, it was now something he did almost wholly unconsciously. His advanced senses found connection points and calculated speeds and angles with little effort. And so, he flew between buildings, savouring the few moments between one swing and the next, when he was weightless. He peered into the distance, scanning for the closest church. Its clock tower read 5 minutes to midnight. Cars sporadically zoomed through the otherwise empty streets. His ears, sharper than any human's, picked up no police sirens, nor fearful screams. At Christmas, it was as if New York itself took a breath. The calm energy emanating from below reached Peter's whole body, and he breathed a sigh of relief. The distant clock chimed, its sound echoing through the air. Midnight. He would have to head home soon. MJ would be waiting up for him. She still possessed the excitement of a child when it came to Christmas, and always stayed up late to, in her words, check if Santa has been yet. She liked to open one present before going to bed, but she never started until Peter came home. As the 12th chime faded, his usual alertness returned. He was on the clock again, rushing to be somewhere. Well, if it was back to pursuing point B, he would have some fun on the way. His mission, should he choose to accept it, was to reach point B as creatively as possible. As creatively as possible, Peter muttered. Mission accepted. He landed on a rooftop and turned in the direction of his house in Queens. Maps were unnecessary. He knew the city. It was his playground. Adrenaline flooded his system. The thousands of tiny lights around him brightened. Edges grew sharper. He no longer saw high-rises, apartment blocks and rooftops. He saw tools for play. He scanned the shapes ahead of him methodically, choosing a line for his aerial parkour. Dive into swing right, sling through fire escape, run and twist to left, swing left corner, double swing to high reach. Peter checked off the movements one by one, nodded, then took several steps back from the roof's edge. With a run, he launched himself off and straightened into a dive. The ground rushed towards him as he waited for the perfect moment. When he could clearly read the digits on the nearest manhole cover, he reached up and shot a web towards the building on his right. With a yank that would have torn a regular man's arm off, he swung upwards. When he reached the edge of the arc, he released the web and fired another directly ahead, securing himself to a fire escape. With a sharp tug, he was pulled forwards, and again he straightened out, to soar through the gap between the metal stairs and the wall. He then planted his feet on the wall and ran across it, pushing off before he reached the end. With a sideways flip, he was back in the centre of the street. He was still zooming left when he fired a web onto the opposite building. As he flew past it and the web grew taut, it pulled him around the corner, into a narrow side street. He released again before the web could swing him into the brick wall, then fired from each hand. The double swing kept him centered, and he continued braking and refiring through the street. When another block loomed in front of him, he fired 2 final webs and yanked himself upwards, slingshotting himself into the sky. "Merry Christmas, Pete," he said, beaming.